and welcome to Enquire to Choir. My name is Eva and I'm here to help you, fellow choir people. It's the end of the year, as you probably know, and we're all thinking about the lessons we've learned and things we have to do differently or want to do differently next year, or the experiences we've had this year that are going to influence the year ahead of us. It's the year 2020, which is crazy to me because I remember when I was little and I was counting how old I was going to be when it's the year 2000 and Y2K was a thing. Today's video became a bit of a tradition here on Enquire to Choir, and it's about the lessons I've learned as a choir conductor in this year. Lesson number 1, it's a marathon, not a race. It's easy to gain success once. It's easy to have a great choir, a great concert once. But if you want to really have a good choir, and if you really want to be a good choir director, choir conductor, you have to have more than just one successful concert. You have to have a successful season. You have to have a successful number of seasons. And the most important fact, you have to make a good choir out of any combination of your singers, because people leave and people come back, new people arrive to the choir, and your job as a choir conductor is to always make a good choir out of every possible combination. It really pays off that you build your choir sustainably. Don't go just for one win. Think about the longevity of your choir, step by step, not just quick starts and quick finishes. Lesson number 2, let go of your choir singers without fear and welcome change. In one of my choirs, I had a huge generation that was leaving, and they didn't want to leave, but they had to because life took them other places. And it was not just about the quantity of people. I really thought that they were the reason why the choir sounded good. They were trained for years, they had been in my choir. Not to mention that I love them very much. I mean, we've been together, all of us, for years, and as you probably know, it's a special kind of a connection. So I was emotionally invested as well, and I was really sad to watch them go. And what happened? We took on new people, and it's true. The sound of the choir changed. It doesn't mean better or worse, it's different. The people in it are different, but they are lovable just the same. I've never been in this situation before, so I actually thought that everything was going to fall apart when new people come. But actually, there is a reason why in life everything is cyclical. So to be put in a position where I had to train the new singers, the new choir members from the very beginning, that was actually very beneficial for me too, because I realized that I have the opportunity. I can do it differently. I could do it better because now I have more experience. And that was actually a good thing to realize. Lesson number 3, let go of your ego. We all have egos, and if you're a choir conductor and choir director, and especially you realize that not a lot of people in the world know what you're going through, and you have to put on a performance, and you know that it's not going to be a very good one, let go of your ego. Your choir needs to have performances. You can't wait for the perfect time for the perfect performance. Plus, you can practice for a concert for 3 years, and it's not going to come out perfect. It's not about you, it's about the choir. But they need to have pinpoints where they can see if they're doing well or not. And I see a lot of my colleagues not doing that because they are afraid somebody is going to say they're bad. Don't be afraid to stand in front of your choir when they're performing less than good. It's a progress. It's a marathon. If you push through those less than perfect performances, it's going to be greatly beneficial for you in the long run. And if you have a really bad performance, let go of your ego. Don't take it personally and be really offended and how they embarrassed you. Please don't ever say to your choir that they embarrassed you. because you are their leader. So if they had done something wrong, that's on you. Okay, for me, this one was a huge one. Lesson number 4. Please, Eva, write down all of your remarks when you're doing a music piece. The thing is, you take on new music and you're doing it for the first time and you write things down, your notes and stuff, but you go along and you think, I remember everything and I have a good memory and I conduct by heart and I don't need music sheet in front of me to know everything. So I didn't write everything down. And what happened? 5 years after that, I take on some of the pieces I've done 5 years ago. Do I remember everything? No. Write things down. Write them down. Luckily, I had some of my choir members who have sung that 5 years ago and they could inform me of some of the things, but that was actually really embarrassing that I have to ask them how they sang that thing. So write everything down, okay? Be your own note taker and historian. Okay, so don't let the sun go down on me. Lesson number 5, which is a repeated one from one of the previous years. In case of emergency, if something is not working and you can't figure out why, and the whole choir sounds out of tune, that particular song, and you don't understand why, change the key, change the key. You tried everything else and you are able to change the key because it's not officially written in that key. Transpose, semitone up or down. Lesson number 6. It's not just about saying what your choir has to do. It's about finding the way to make them understand what they have to do. Please recognize that when you give some instructions, possibly you're giving them just a final destination without actually giving them the journey. I'll give you an example. You want your choir to become louder, to make a great crescendo at a certain bar, and you keep telling them, do this, and you sing a crescendo. Singing crescendo and them just repeating it is not actually going to necessarily come to them doing the crescendo in real time. You have to make them understand what they actually have to do. And it's not just about saying, become louder. You have to say, open your mouth more and more. Use your diaphragm, more power, more air. You have to give them a vessel how to do certain things. When it comes to the dynamics, you can watch the video I did this year. I'll link it here, but I hope you know what I'm talking about in general. If something is not working for your choir, if you have to repeat 100 times the same thing, don't repeat it in the same way. Your job as a choir director, choir conductor, is to find 100 ways how to explain them what you want them to do. If one way is not working, find another one. If the second one is not working, find another one, because your job is to find as many possible ways to make them understand what they have to do. And for 50 people in your choir, some other thing is going to work. Don't shoot yourself in the leg by just repeating the same words in the same way without giving any new information. Positive work environment is the key. When it comes to amateur choirs, I'm always laughed at because I really care about how my choir members feel. The cover photo of this channel is, I don't need my singers to like me, but I think they sing better if they like me. And people often make fun of that because they think, why do you care what they feel? You're their boss. You don't have to care. You do have to care. I'm just saying. Would you come to a place once or twice a week or more times a week where somebody in front of you is a very toxic person, very negative, full of pessimism, full of discouragement? You don't have to be a fluffy, oh, everything is going to be okay person. You don't have to be that, but don't offend people. Don't give them all the negative energy. Lift them up. If you can choose the way you're going to do things and you can be very encouraging or very discouraging, I suggest you be very encouraging. And finally, I love this one because I learned that the hard way a few years ago, 6 years ago, but this year it confirmed. You can't fight great sound. If you are experiencing doubtful people around you, if you are questioned all the time by your choir members because they don't trust that you know what you're doing and they think they can do it better, persevere and try to make your choir sound better. Because if your choir sounds better every time and eventually it sounds good or great, nobody can tell you that you don't have anything to do with that. Focus on your choir and how you can make your choir sound better each time. One of the great benefits of choir sounds is that everybody can hear them. So if your choir sounds better than the previous choir, that has something to do with you. So work on your choir sound and you will become undeniable. Okay, so these were my lessons for the year. If you're interested in the previous lessons, there is a playlist. I will link it here. Thank you to everyone who has supported this channel. Thank you for the lovely comments. I really appreciate them. A lot of you ask me how you can support this channel. The best thing you can do is to share the channel and actually tell people about it and to subscribe and get the notification on. For the year 2020, I'm very happy because I will be visiting New Zealand in July. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, please let me know down below. If you have any lessons you want to share with everyone, I would be happy to hear. Thank you to one of the biggest supporters of this channel, Michelle and Vanya. And if you had a tough year or if you're struggling with something, if you don't have anyone who is going to say everything is going to be okay, take this moment. I will look you in the eyes, I hope, and tell you, don't worry, everything will be okay. Happy New Year, Sretna Nova Godina, as we say in Croatian, and I really hope I see you next year. Conduct well, conductors, and I'll see you next year. Bye!